Previously on Paranormasight, the Mermaid's Curse. Am I not allowed to be an Ama diver? Absolutely not! I won't allow it! Wow, his extreme duck face. Dude, she's making the face that one dude from fucking America's Got Talent did. Where she's like, look at that one dude. And now back to Mermaid. Hello! NicoB! Back with some more Paranormasight, the Mermaid's Curse. When we last left off, we introduced to Yusa's and Azami's little friend Tsukasa. She hangs out with her pal Sato, and they do things like talk about boys and TV shows and other things. Like apparently Tsukasa likes this cute guy named Shotaro. He's this smoking hot stud. Look at that perfect hair of his. Oh my God, he's right over there. Holy shit. All right, enough about these two teenage girls. What else is going on in town? Oh, that's right. There's a dead fucking mermaid over there. But psychic detectives and members of the Paranormal Affairs Division, Yumeko and Sodo, are not as convinced of that, thinking perhaps instead it's actually a human that was cursed. It was killed that way. Also, Sodo has the ability to cast a bunch of curses himself, which is an interesting ability to have. Which, by the way, you guys point out, the Feast of Shadows that was brought up before, no, that was actually in the last game. In fact, it was the entirety of the last game. That was literally what created the whole people with curses to begin with curse stones. It was called the Feast of Shadows. That's what Yoko basically did at the start of the game. So very interesting that he's able to seemingly do that, which almost leads me to believe that at some point he's going to be casting that and we're gonna be doing this shot all over again. But it's why that majority of that game took place at nighttime, because it can only be done at nighttime. Interesting. But as we've already seen, that scene that we saw with the mermaid also took place a bit further ahead in time, which I think is really cool how they did that, where you did it over here and then suddenly the timeline moves forward to show it was actually that far forward. And now we've got a new event that seems to be taking place around this time. It's cool, man. This game's off to a good start. Oh yes, and I guess also last episode I did technically also dive under the sea a billion times and become like a level what am I? At 27 Ama diver rank? Hell yeah, bitch. 3,500 points. I'm a god. I'm a fucking god. Apparently this actually does affect things that Azami says to you, like little fluff dialogue in terms of like how quickly you've gotten like more experience in Ama diving. Wow, that's pretty neat actually. That's pretty cool. By the way, you guys did say though, there actually is apparently still something here that I have not come across yet, despite this being not highlighted anymore. Really? Okay. Damn, I really feel like I looked everywhere around there, but all right, I'll have to check that out then. But anyway, last episode, Pintuma said, Yumeko, Sodo, and Ide. Okay, now that we've started our big important investigation, it's time to move the plot. A body's been discovered. We did that cool flowchart thing where we moved it forward. There's gonna be a groundbreaking, unbelievable cutscene in the next 10 minutes at the start. Nico, born to swim, oceans to fuck. Kill 'em all 1989. Iron Fish Man. 410,757,864,530 dead abalones. This fucking random ass shit, dude. For those of you who don't know, this is like, I believe this is like on like some Chinese bootleg t-shirts or some shit. This fucking weird thing that became a meme. Just like a bunch of random words thrown together. But oddly, sort of makes sense given the context. And the fact that you were able to find that stupid level of context, Pintuma, and make that connection to the abalones is the reason why you are our comment of the day. That's stupid. But okay, so we got plot. You know, that's important. But fuck that, let's go back, let's go diving again. Let me see if I can find what you guys were talking about. There's something else down here? I am actually curious if this is gonna like lead into anything, or if this is just like the diving section is just this little part here and it doesn't actually expand other parts of the game. I'm almost thinking that might be the case. But so there's something else here? I think I heard somebody say look somewhere where there's like darkness. Oh. What the fuck? How the fuck did I not see that before? Wow. Wow, I was hyper-focused on the shit below me, wasn't I? What the hell was that? Well, that's freaky. I don't know if Is that it? It's like right on the edge, too. Wonder, can I talk to a zombie about what I just saw there? I didn't get anything. I was too freaked out. Bro, did you see that shit? Why aren't you listening to me? Does it show up again? Was that what I was looking for? I can't believe I just like stumbled across it immediately. Oh, it did not show up again. Are there any other spots that are like, get dark like that? Or is it just that? I don't think so. I wonder, was that there the whole time? Or did that only like, oh wait, it gets dark over here. Not seeing any weird shit pop out though. Oh yeah, here's the rock I broke. I'm almost wondering if maybe breaking the chain on this thing is what made that thing appear. Or was that thing always there? You just had to look directly at it. I mean, it gets dark over there, but I don't see anything else. Other than this lobster. I'm just gonna assume that's probably what you guys want me to say. Which would make sense because it didn't seem to really affect anything. It was just more like, hey, does he notice? Should we tell him? Okay, I guess we should probably do this one then. Move further back in time. So many recollections, man. At some point, actually, God, I've done nothing but recollections these last few. Eventually, I'm gonna get back to the actual like moving forward a plot. Unidentified skeletons. You make a by the way, you guys mentioned it actually, I was right the first time. Fuck, you tell me I've actually been saying it right the whole time. It is actually Shiki. Not Shiki. Yumeko Shiki arrives at Toba City, Mie Prefecture, to investigate the discovery of skeletal remains with her assistant Sodo Kiryu. Okay, so now we're moving back even further to when they arrived here. Wow. Welcome, ma'am. I've been waiting for you. The site where the bones were found is a little ways offshore from this beach.
You went ahead and started the investigation, I see. Thanks for that.
Not at all. You clearing everything with local police meant all I had to do was arrive and inspect the remains myself. To get straight to the point, there is no doubt. Signs of a curse are clearly evident. The skeletal remains are tied to a supernatural incident.
Seems I was right to trust my intuition on this one. All right then, let me hear the full report.
Understood.
But first, let me look for any birds. Birds? Birds. You there, bird? Bird in the sky? Bird sky? How about the surroundings?
This is the town of Ijika in Toba City. The area's historic place known for its armored divers.
Oh, I know it well. It's also famous as the filming location of one of Japan's most well-known monster films.
I wouldn't know about that myself, ma'am, but you seem unusually well-versed in that area.
Those old tokusatsu films are the best. You should watch them for yourself, Sodo.
As you wish. I'll look into it.
Ijika Town is a fishing settlement located within Toba City on the eastern tip of the Shima Peninsula. The area takes its name from Ijakajima, an island offshore of the region, and it's said that the hollow in the center of the island was so reflective as to resemble a mirror. Hollow? Looking at the map up here, leading to Yamato Hime no Mikoto, giving it its current name, which is written with the characters for stone and mirror. The Riaz coastline is a particularly beautiful sight and is well known as a spot to watch the sunrise. It is also notable as the filming location of the first entry in one of Japan's most famous monster film series and sees many visitors from fans as a result. Godzilla! Godzilla! Battle Action 8! A city located on the northeastern tip of the Shima Peninsula, Toba City, adjacent to Ise City and Shima City. Along with the city itself, its administrative area also encompasses 4 populated islands. The combined area of modern Toba City and Shima City was formerly known as Shima Province. Its coastline features one of Japan's most notable Ria coasts and is renowned not only for its marine industries, but also for its popularity as a tourist destination. Having originally sprung up as a castle town of the Toba domain, the years following the Meiji era saw Toba flourish as the center of the Shima region, with an abundance of marine products available in its waters. It is also famous for being home to the highest number of active Ama divers in Japan. There are many guest houses run by Ama divers and fishermen along the shore, providing visitors to the area with the opportunity to enjoy fresh seafood. Cool. There's so much lore and like, even just like the cities themselves. Which a lot of these locations, I mean, they're probably based off of real areas, but they are fictional, right? It did say that at the start of the game.
I had already planned to come here to Toba and Mie Prefecture together with Sodo on another case. But the news of skeletal remains being found in the area caught my eye, so I sent him to head to investigate. As expected, it turned out to be...
Oh, another typo. I see another typo.
As expected, it turned out to be the result of a curse. Luckily, a troublesome one at that. A diligent and earnest young man, his mentor, my husband, has nothing but praise for his skills, so he has my complete trust. I know I shouldn't rely on him too much, but he's so good at noticing the finer details that I often find myself doing so.
Skeletal remains.
To begin, shall we review the details of the case?
Is that really necessary?
Summarizing may help us notice something we missed.
Not a day goes past that I don't admire your diligence, Sodo.
My thanks. I'll strive to be brief. A few days ago, a fisherman off the coast here hauled up a long, rod-like object. It resembled a human bone, so he notified the police. That was about 10 days ago.
So he fished up completely by chance.
Following that, the police conducted an underwater investigation of the surrounding area. They discovered multiple skeletal remains in a fissure beneath the rocks. All the remains were already severely deteriorated, with each being several years to several decades old.
Could it be Azami and Yuza's parents, maybe?
As a result, forensics struggled to identify the victims. There was just too little to go on. Only fragments of the skulls remained, so facial reconstruction was apparently not possible.
Hardly surprising in such a state. Still, with your ability, we hardly need facial reconstruction, do we?
Indeed. I'll report my discoveries shortly.
Ah, yes, you're crazy magic horse shit.
You know, one possibility comes to mind. Will you humor me?
Please, go ahead.
I wonder if those skeletal remains could be the victims of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster from 5 years ago.
That's what I was saying.
Regrettably, that is not the case.
Oh, darn it!
Please don't sound so defeated. Forensics confirmed 5 bodies in total, but they said that each had decomposed over a different length of time.
Really?
Oh, meaning they didn't all die at the same time.
Correct. The most recent appears to date back 6 years. The others go back some 10 years before that, and another 10, and another 10, and so on.
So roughly one body every 10 years.
Indeed. I imagine that any older remains may have simply decayed entirely.
Which means someone's been using that fissure as a place to dump corpses for decades?
It's surrounded by rock, and with minimal currents in the area, it's unlikely they drifted there naturally. Had that bone not been fished up by chance, we'd never have known. In other words, it was an ideal site for quietly disposing of bodies.
So this was no accident. Someone did this. I imagine quite some resentment must have piled up over the years.
Indeed, but I've already cleansed the lingering resentment in that area. Leaving such resentment to fester could lead to a curse manifesting after all.
Ooh, wouldn't want that shit to happen again. Granted, this game's also called the Mermaid's Curse, so I don't know how fucking well that's gonna pay off here.
Efficient as always.
My thanks. There is one more point of concern that all the remains have in common.
Go on.
Each body bore a clean, precise cut, clearly severed.
Severed? You're saying they were sliced straight through the bone?
Exactly. Each was sliced down through the bone, all with a clean cut as smooth as the last. Forensics noted that reproducing such uniform cuts would be extremely difficult. Even with industrial equipment, such precision would have been unachievable decades ago. One possible explanation is that a master swordsman, wielding a razor-sharp katana, cleaved each of them in a single stroke.
Yes, well, that would certainly explain it. But warriors don't exactly run around with swords in this day and age. Which brings us to the possibility of a curse, I suppose.
Correct. If the cuts were made by supernatural means, the rules change. And as it turns out, there were traces of a curse at each of the severed points.
It was just a matter of time until we found one.
Also, for the briefest moment, I glimpsed a curse echo that looked like a warrior in armor.
A curse echo in armor.
Whoa.
Yes, judging from the crest on its armor and given our location, it appears to be a curse tied to the Heike. Or the Heike.
Right, the Heike.
You are familiar with the Heike, I assume.
Well, Sling tells me, was this in the last game as well? It's been a while, okay? I'm sorry. I know I forgot that was called the Feast of Shadows in the first game. I was actually surprised. I remember a lot of the main characters' names from the last game. But certain terms and elements I may not remember quite as well. And I remember, like, obviously, like, important plot points and things too, but I don't recognize this, so I'm just gonna say, well.
The Heike? I'm not too sure.
The Heike were a branch of the Taira clan, a warrior family who rose to power at the end of the Heian period. From their base in Nisei province, they expanded their influence, reaching great heights under Taira no Kiyomori. But in their pride, they were defeated by the Genji in what is now known as the Genpei War.
Yes, of course. I knew that.
The tale of the Heike preserved just how prosperous they were before they fell. Many who lived through the downfall carried deep regrets. Their resentment is especially persistent. Many traces remain even today, and they can be quite meddlesome.
I assume that this is all where all of the stories that we heard from the Seven Mysteries of Honjo, right? All those mysteries, do they all basically take place during this era? Were they also part of the Heike? Is that where that originated from? To me, in my remembrance of that, I don't know if I remembered it being specifically from like a certain era or a clan or whatever. I don't know. Maybe this is new information being thrown my way, and it was just like, I don't know. Do you happen to know this rather innocuous bit of fucking Japanese lore?
Indeed. You hear about it all over the place. I guess even by expert standards, it's quite the problem.
It might be much more well known in Japan than here. Whoa, look at this. Whoa, what am I looking at? Abbreviated genealogy of the Heike. I don't know, man. This does not seem familiar to me, but the Heike were part of the Issei Taira clan, which was itself an Issei-based branch of the Taira clan, a prominent samurai family of the Heian period. Although the entire Issei Taira clan was greatly influential, Heike refers to the particularly prosperous lineage of Taira no Masamori, Taira no Tadamori, and Taira no Kiyomori. Known as one of the most prominent samurai families of the Heian period alongside the Minamoto clan, the Taira clan was originally based in the Kanto region. However, following Taira no Masakato's uprising against the central government in the year 935, and its suppression at the hands of the Taira no Tadamori, the latter's son, Kourahira, moved to the Issei province, where he came to wield significant political power. This was the start of what would become known as the Issei Taira clan. 4 generations on from Kourahira, Taira no Masamori consolidated the family's influence in Issei. His successor, Tadamori, was granted permission to enter the imperial court in 1132, eventually attaining a rank equal to that of nobility. The distinguished military exploits of Tadamori's son, Taira no Kiyomori, further led to Kiyomori's promotion to Daijo Daijin, Chancellor of the Realm, the highest possible governmental rank in 1167. In 1180, Kiyomori's daughter, Noriko, married into the imperial family, and her son ascended the throne as emperor, enabling the Heike to consolidate their monopoly on political authority. Thus, the Taira clan came to dominate the political landscape of the times. Such was their wealth and power that one member of the clan is said to have remarked that all those who did not belong to the Taira clan were to be considered people of no position. However, this golden age of the Taira clan did not last. Their arrogant rule and dictatorial grasp on power led to many turning against the Taira clan, and the stirrings of rebellion soon came to a head, with several prominent figures joining forces in a bid to overthrow them. In the midst of the resulting years of warfare, Kiyomori died of illness in March 1181. Despite losing one of their key members, the Taira clan continued to struggle against their opponents, but to no avail. In 1185, they were finally defeated in the Battle of Dan no Ura, and many of its members, including Kiyomori's grandson, Emperor Antoku, who was still a child at the time, were lost beneath the waves of Dan no Ura, burdened with unfulfilled ambitions. It is said that the Kusanagi no Tsurugi sword, one of the three imperial regalia of Japan, regarded since the ancient times as a symbol of imperial authority, was also lost to the sea that day. No, I think this is new. I think it's just new information. After the defeat, the surviving members of the Taira clan, now disgraced as a fallen warriors, scattered across the country and lived out their days in hiding. Even to this day, legends of the Taira clan survivors exist in various regions across Japan. Yeah, I think it was just asking because maybe this is something that is... Because, I mean, I know that there's... Right, that, like... Certain locations and things in this game are fiction, but I think it's also based off a lot of actual history, you know? With maybe some also folk tales and things thrown in there for good measure. I don't know. Maybe everything in this game is totally fictional. I think the last game had at least some things that were true.
What's more, the katana the Cursed Echo carried, I believe it may have been the famed blade, Nukamaru.
Nukamaru?
Yes, a blade passed down through the Heike, once wielded by Tairo no Tadamori.
I see. It would seem your love of swords has proved rather useful here. So what you're saying is that these skeletal remains were cut and killed by the power of Tadamori's curse?
I can't say it was Tadamori himself, but I am confident it was a curse from someone within the Heike.
At the very least, it offers an explanation for those mysteriously perfect cuts. But the body's being dumped every decade. Surely that can't be the curse too, can it?
Correct. I imagine that part likely involves further intervention by someone else.
So this wasn't an accident by some spontaneous curse. There's a perpetrator out there.
Indeed. However, I can't imagine any psychic with enough power to wield such a curse would dispose of bodies so poorly. My theory is that someone is using a curse stone. They are killing through its curse, then discarding the bodies.
Interesting. Yeah, so like, curse stones were manifested because of the Feast of Shadows, right? On like spirits, but do they still exist normally outside of that? I guess they still can.
A curse stone.
Think of it as a talisman that lets even those without spirit sense use the power of curses. They are created when intense resentment fuses with a suitable relic.
That sounds dangerously convenient.
There were a few incidents involving curse stones in Tokyo last year, actually. Didn't you hear?
Oh, now that you mention it, that somewhat rings a bell.
Yeah, it's only been like a year or so since the last game. It's not been that long. A type of curse tool that allows even people without spirit sense to wield curses. As long as the tool meets the above criteria, items of any shape or size may be referred to as curse stones. Many curse stones have conditions that must be fulfilled to use them, often based on the spiritual power and characteristics of the curse itself. If a curse stone has low spiritual power, it may only be possible to use it under specific circumstances, such as when under the influence of the Feast of Shadows. Aha! There you go. So yeah, no, they do exist outside that. A spell that heightens the potency of certain types of spiritual energy.
So in short, whoever's behind this possesses a stone imbued with the Heike's curse. They use it to kill someone roughly every decade, dumping the body into the sea.
Yes, it aligns with the evidence. Thank you for the summary.
Now then, about those skeletal remains. Were you able to use your Shangan, Sodo?
I like, we're gonna like mega like, now that we're like, yeah, I'm out here controlling this bullshit. We're not just like a bunch of randos with curse stones murdering each other, right? Now we get like legit professionals. Because the only like sort of professional I feel like in the last game was like Mio, right? She was like, because Tetsuo didn't have any spiritual powers. He was aware of stuff, right? He had experience with stuff like this before. And Mio definitely had at least some understanding of it, but just like having people be like, did you use your Sharingan, Sodo? Yes, I opened my mind's eye, I could see. It's funny, I don't know. I like it though. It's dope. I love this anime horse shit.
Yes, I did. It only worked on the most recent body, though. The one from 6 years ago. By viewing part of the remains, I was able to reconstruct a portrait sketch of how he looked when he was alive.
Damn, looks a bit like Faye from fucking Xenogears.
Here's a copy. I've already provided one to the police as well.
Impressive. That ability of yours remains quite the asset.
Not always. There are times when the vision just doesn't come through. It's far from infallible. Besides, there are those who can simply speak directly with the victim's spirit and ask who did it.
Even so, none of these methods would hold up as admissible evidence in court. But as a lead in our investigation, it's more than enough. Excellent work.
Thank you. We had the police compare the sketch against missing people from 6 years ago.
But no matches were found.
Darn. Would have made things much easier.
Detective Ide is continuing the investigation.
Ah, the detective with the local police. I've heard he's good, so let's hope he proves it.
Toba seabed skeletons. The case in which multiple human skeletons were recovered from a deep fissure in the Toba seabed. The initial estimate indicated that at least 5 bodies have been disposed of there. The following information has not been made available to the public. Victims' identity is unclear. All victims are male. Each body is thought to have been disposed of at a different time, at different times. The most recent body dates to about 6 years ago. Facial sketch of this individual obtained using Sodo Kiryu's Shagan ability. The other remains show signs of gradual aging, with the oldest dating back to more than 30 years. Although the presence of older remains has also been confirmed, they have completely decayed, and it is impossible to tell how old they are. It is unlikely that the bodies could have drifted into the fissure naturally, so it's thought that someone has been discarding them every few years. Each skeleton shows signs of a clean-cut, precise cut inflicted by a sharp blade. Traces of a curse were also detected from around the severed sections. The victims are believed to have been killed by a curse wielded by someone connected to the Heike.
Say, Sodo, that sketch of yours. Maybe we should show it to some of the locals.
Ah, good point. Someone might recognize him if they were around here 6 years ago.
Damn, look at that pipe.
If we can identify the victim, it could help us trace the one who used the curse.
I guess we can't just leave things be now that we know that there is a curse involved. Honestly, I'd rather not deal with it.
There you go again. Are you sure that's something you should be saying out loud?
This little face he makes.
Obviously not. I just want to get this over with and go home, that's all.
Yes, yes. We all know how much you love your home.
State of the sea.
You can see the sea from here all the way to Kamishima. Do you sense anything out there, Sodo?
Yes, I do. The waters south of Kamishima are saturated with the powerful presence of the curse of the raging waves. I can sense it even from this distance. That's how strong it is.
Is that so? Looking out to sea, I can't see a thing. I just hope this means we made it in time.
Even during the disaster 5 years ago, the energy was never this overwhelming. The seal has broken. There's no doubt about it.
So it's already broken. That isn't good.
Ooh, I wonder.
I'm almost wondering if I did that. I might have been me that did that last episode when I went down there and whacked that thing that was down there, and then seemingly nothing happened. I almost think that is it. And then that giant figure I saw might be the result of that. Interesting. But then it leads to the question of then well, what does that affect? And what would there have been a point where I would have needed to do that to progress? I don't know though. It's hard to tell if this is maybe this would have been here regardless, or if this is from my own actions, Which, to be fair, that was part of the magic of what the last game was, right? Of learning what did you affect and what was inevitable, essentially, right? Learning that how many people did I actually kill, and how many did Shogo kill, right? And that's what was so fascinating. These games are so mindfucky in that way. That might be what I did though. Because I was wondering what the fuck was that?
so it's already broken. That isn't good. The sea still seems calm, though. Does the storm not break out immediately?
I think this is also in the same line as when, yeah, I can't go to the store trying to look at it, but I believe it's in the same spot where my deep sea diving was.
Yes, something seems to be holding it back for now.
Oh, so there's a silver lining at least.
It seems stable for the moment. We probably have 2 or 3 days of safety.
Now we've got a bit of breathing room. Perhaps there's still something we can do.
The Curse of Raging Waves. A curse that causes an outbreak of turbulent waves and violent storms in the sea around Kamishima. It's said the curse was born from the resentment of former residents of Taishima, an island once located to the south of Kamishima. After someone brought about its destruction, some believe that several of the disasters that have struck Kamishima in the past were actually caused by the curse in this curse in some manner, including the Kamishima South Sea disaster that occurred 5 years ago. The person accused of bringing the curse of Kamishima was called the Raging Waves Curse Bearer and was shunned by the island's inhabitants. And who was that? Was that my mom? Mayhaps? I'm gonna look directly into the sun. Can I see any ghosts around here or anything? See any dank shit? I don't see anything.
I hope we can do something about the curse of the raging waves while it's still being held back.
Yes, but despite all efforts, we still haven't found a way to lift the curse. We might have quite a struggle ahead of us.
That's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? And we have no idea where your ancestors' keepsake is, either.
I apologize on behalf of my family. Ma'am, behind you.
Behind me?
What the fuck? Is that a fucking ghost? Hello?
Who's that? Just someone from town passing by.
Ugh.
Ah, she bolted. Sodo, after her. Kill her!
On it. Hey, stop!
Let me go! I didn't do nothing wrong!
Get over here, lady. Damn, she looks crazed.
I've apprehended the suspect.
Good work. Now die! Sorry for the rough handling. Mind helping us out a bit? What were you doing here? Why did you run? What? Don't get smart with me. You're the suspicious ones, sticking around and poking into things. You think folks won't be wary with shady types like you wandering around through town? Ah, I see. Sorry if I gave you a scare. Or with the police. Nothing shady here. You're with the police? Seriously? You heard about the skeletal remains found nearby, yes? That's what we're looking into. You don't look like police. Say, do you live around here? There's something I'd like you to take a quick look at. Do you recognize this face at all? We believe he may have been around here about 6 years ago. Huh? Nope, don't know him. I see. Then could you point us in the direction of someone who might know about people coming and going in town? No idea. Ask whoever you want. Can I go now? I got nothing to do with this. Don't know a thing. All right. Sorry for holding you up.
Damn, lady was like crazy.
What a peculiar woman.
It was like her mind was somewhere else entirely. Well, either way, we should talk to more people in town.
Agreed.
Also, could you ask around and find out who that woman is?
Of course.
Several hours later.
Ma'am, I've learned a few things.
Excellent. Let's hear it.
Wait, did I just have him go do it for me and I just hung out here? Hey, Bert! I see you, little bastard. Bird! That's the Maverick Manny, boy. Yeah.
The port and town center are down that way, so this area is technically the outskirts. It's a quiet town, so a stranger loitering here would definitely attract attention.
That's a good point. We split up to ask around town. Well, the leads I found didn't actually lead anywhere. Just not cut out for this kind of legwork. He didn't so much as flinch at the thought of tedious door-to-door investigation. Not to mention he's good at it. Having him here is a huge help.
I showed the sketch of the victim to several townsfolk. However, it would seem that no one here recognized him at all.
Unfortunate. I suppose chances are he wasn't from this area to begin with. Guess we'll have to place our hopes on Detective Ide then. You don't suppose we might be working with a bad sketch here?
You needn't worry about that. I'm confident in the likeness. It should be a near perfect match.
You're right. I'm sure it's close. Sorry for doubting you.
I also asked around about the woman we encountered earlier. Apparently, she isn't originally from this town.
Oh? Is that so?
Indeed. Apparently she wandered into town about 5 years ago. She's been living alone in a cheap rental apartment on the outskirts of town ever since. When she first arrived, she had nothing but an old wooden box, which she was clutching as if it were very dear to her.
Nothing but an old wooden box.
Supposedly, she used it to work as an armor diver. Around when she first moved here, she'd occasionally go diving for fish. But these days, she keeps to herself, and no one ever sees her diving anymore. No one really knows how she supports herself, and many of the islanders find her unsettling.
Perhaps she fled from something and moved her life here.
That was suggested, yes, but she's never spoken about her past, so no one knows for sure. Although, according to her landlord, she's never been late on rent, and she's never caused any problems either.
Still, it seems odd she gets so worked up about strangers coming to town. Doesn't seem like she's in any position to be worrying about that. You think she might be hiding something?
It's possible. Her attitude changed the moment we said we were with the police. Perhaps she was keeping watch over the coast where the bodies were dumped, waiting to see if someone showed up.
Right. I mean, the most recent body is from 6 years ago. She arrived in town 5 years back. The timing is rather suspicious when you look at it like that. We best keep an eye on her.
Agreed.
Were you able to get her name?
Apparently her last name is Sumikawa, but I didn't manage to get her first name.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. She's the... Oh. She's the woman we found, who we saw turn to a mermaid and was a corpse. Oh, fuck.
Sumikawa. Why does that name sound so familiar?
You've heard it before.
I think so, but I can't quite remember where. But I'm a woman who cast off her past long ago. I guess I shouldn't let it bother me.
Not this again.
Let's leave any time-consuming background checks to Detective Ide.
Very well. I'll inform him.
Sumikawa. Ooh. A woman living Toba, although she occasionally does work as an armor diver, it's unclear who she is and where she came from. She apparently showed up in Toba about 5 years ago with nothing but a grubby wooden box to her name. She's been living there ever since.
So this means that woman might have been marking us since we got here.
It's possible. I apologize for not noticing sooner. Even a moment's lapse can expose one to a curse. I was careless, but I won't let it happen again.
You can be cursed that easily? That's terrifying. What a world we live in.
That concludes all the information I gathered from my inquiries.
That helps a lot. Thanks.
Shall I summarize our next steps?
Yes, I suppose we need to do something about all this. Let's see.
Got the unidentified skeletons.
Regarding the unidentified skeletons, until we can identify the victim from the sketch, we have no other leads to move forward. I believe that this is the best left in Detective Ide's hands.
Yes, agreed.
And I think the same goes for that Samakawa movement from earlier. We'll have Detective Ide look into hers.
It's nice to have someone we can rely on, and agreed on that end too. In other words, we can safely leave the skeleton case to him for now.
Yes, though we should remain vigilant regarding the curse stones. Regarding our main objective, or the so-called Curse of the Raging Waves.
Oh, so this was their... Interesting. Okay, so this was their main reason for coming here, was this.
Without knowing how to lift it, there's not much we can do right now.
I don't suppose there's a chance you'll be able to break the curse using brute force. You're quite good at that.
It's certainly an option if worst comes to worst, but I can't say I have high hopes it would work.
I guess it would be more realistic to try to find some clues about the whereabouts of your ancestors' keepsakes instead.
Indeed. It is said that item may hold the key to lifting the curse of the raging waves.
But even the location of the map pointing to the keepsake has unfortunately been lost to time. Although, the map was said to be hidden inside a model of a mermaid mummy. One rumor says it was sold overseas during the Edo period.
Doesn't sound promising. But if we can't find it, I guess we're back to trying to break the curse with brute force.
But to even consider that route, we need much more intel from the island.
Which is why we need to head to Kamishima. And at the very least, advise the locals to evacuate.
Yes. Hopefully someone of influence there will believe us about the curse of the raging waves.
Is something wrong?
No. It's just that one of the islanders I spoke with seems to be calling me over. Something may have happened. I'll go find out.
Please do.
Ma'am?
What was it?
The person who called me over shared a new piece of information. They were told to keep it secret, but open up since we were with the police.
Go on.
Earlier this morning, down by the shore, they apparently found something that resembled the corpse of a mermaid.
A mermaid? Really?
That same person reported to a local authority and was immediately ordered to tell no one, not even the police.
You're kidding me.
That local authority then contacted an unknown individual. Soon after, someone came and secretly retrieved the mermaid corpse.
That couldn't be more suspicious, could it?
Exactly. They were uneasy about the whole thing, which is why they confided in me. What shall we do?
Did they describe what the mermaid looked like?
Yes. They said from the head to the shoulders it was human, but below that entirely fish. So it was not the classic mermaid from fairy tales, it would seem.
Only the head was human.
They also said it was completely dried out, almost mummified. The face was unrecognizable. But they thought it resembled a local armor diver named Tamiko Suma.
What?
Apparently she went out diving alone this morning and hasn't returned. That's likely what worried the witness the most.
Wait, oh, I thought we said the body looked like Samakawa. I have to go back and let me look at that again.
That is troubling. Damn it, just what we needed. More things to deal with. First things first, let's deal with this mermaid story. Come on.
Oh, there's actually shit that happened in between that? What the hell? A corpse resembling a mermaid is turned up in Fukawa. Yumeko and Sodokuru investigate the help of the Masaru Ide, a local detective, and discover that the deceased was in fact the woman named Somakawa. It was, right? So yeah, this face is Somakawa. But funny enough, they said they thought it looked like somebody else. Maybe it's someone who's related to her? I don't know. Let's keep going. Shima investigation. A mermaid corpse was discovered on the beach near Ijika town. While Yumeko and her partner are investigating its whereabouts, they run to an important local figure. Yo, what up, old man?
Mr. Yamashina, thank you for agreeing to meet with us on such short notice. I understand you're a busy man.
Not like I have much choice when some bigwig from the prefectural police badgering me to do so. So, you're Shiki from the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. Security division, was it? Ha! Here I thought you were just some housemaid. You sure you're from the police in that getup?
Well, I am primarily a housewife by trade, but that's hardly important right now. You're also known as Unka Kudono, I believe.
That's a mouthful.
After hearing so many rumors, it's an honor to make your acquaintance.
Rumors, eh?
Unka Kudono. Yoshiatsu Yamashina. 70 years old, tycoon. A wealthy tycoon owns multiple companies and swaths of land, particularly in the Su and Issei areas. Born in the Taisho period, unmarried. His family first came into business in the Edo period, traveling from town to town selling talismans, miscanthus, reed hoops, and other items to ward off evil spirits. During the Meiji period, this business expanded to a trading company, and the Yamashina family became prominent contributors to the development of the region. Born to the heir of the Yamashina family business and the daughter of a noble family, Yoshiatsu grew up in an affluent environment where he received a thorough education tailored to gifted children. Following the end of the war, Yoshiatsu inherited the company assets in his 30s, but was quick to sell off all the shares he owned, using the proceeds to buy and sell real estate and stocks, a practice that made him extremely wealthy. After amassing his fortune, he showed a keen interest in investing in ambitious young people, actively monitoring those he took a particular liking to, or mentoring. This approach led to the emergence of many successful businessmen, which includes Shinobu Wakamura of Kamishima. Aha, I see. So he's like his mentor. Those who have received Yamashima's support view him with both gratitude and a sense of awe bordering on reverence, referring to him as Unka Kudono, a title that evokes a figure elevated above the clouds. Yamashina has always shown a strong attachment to wealth, even going so far as to partake in illicit activities such as illegal donations, tax evasion, insider trading, and media control, all in an effort to garner ever more status and money. Damn. In the shadow of the many success stories enabled by his support, many more of his beneficiaries have fallen into bankruptcy or been arrested, fueling endless unsavory rumors about him to this day. Shina himself, however, seems to be unconcerned by those rumors, considering anything that does not directly harm him to be beneath his notice. Even as a longtime bachelor, he has surrounded himself with many followers, both publicly and privately, and has never lacked for anything to satisfy his personal needs. A few years ago, he began to seriously consider the issue of a successor, driven by his determination that his beloved fortune should never fall into the hands of someone untrustworthy. Perhaps for this reason, he began to develop a keen fascination with immortality around the same time, and is said to be secretly investing vast amounts of money into research on the topic.
He's trying to dig up mermaids and eat their flesh? He wants to live forever, this crazy old man.
Yes, I hear you've been doing some under-the-table research into immortality.
And? So what if I am?
Well now, I wouldn't have expected you to be such a dreamer, but it does make you just a bit more relatable.
You can laugh all you want. What's it got to do with the police anyway?
It seems on this particular occasion, there's quite a bit to do with the police, unfortunately.
You don't say.
Any birds? Bird! Ah! Scream! That was like fucking Sieg. Sieg's got some, wow, he's got the drip on and a red bandana. This is when Sieg in his rebel days. Just ignore the fact it's not the same color, all right? Shut up! He was out here fucking stealing cars and killing hookers and doing blow. Sieg had been on a bit of a wild streak, okay? Those brown feathers are actually tattoos he's got all over his body. Anyway, Kiting Killer is his name.
These splendid gardens fall within the grounds of Mr. Yamashina's Issei City estate. Part of me wonders why he needs so much space when he doesn't have a family. I suppose he has an image to maintain.
So you're rich, that's what you do, right? When you're rich, you just go out and buy a bunch of shit you don't need.
So what else am I gonna do with all this fucking money? Give it to people? Nah, fuck that. They didn't earn it like I did.
People like Yamashina have a tendency to underestimate me whenever I meet with them alone. Having someone intimidating like Sodo with me gets them to take me more seriously. Glad he's here with me today. This is Yoshiatsu Yamashina. He's a tycoon with multiple properties and companies to his name, mostly based here in Ise-shima. He's long been rumored of being involved in various shady dealings. Special investigations have had an eye on him for a while now, but they haven't managed to find any concrete evidence so far. Seems he has a knack for pinning the blame on his subordinates before finding a way to slip away. Needless to say, he and the police are quite familiar with each other by this point. Though I don't doubt he has local police chiefs and politicians under his thumb behind the scenes. There's no need for me to get involved in all that. I'll be satisfied as long as I get the information we need from him. I'll get straight to the point. I believe you took a mermaid corpse into your possession this morning.
What?
That corpse is linked to an ongoing case. We came here to ask you to release it into the public police custody.
So wait, is this different from the... Wait. Oh, this is different. Oh, no, because we haven't caught up yet. Yeah, no, we're yeah, now I think about it. Yeah, this makes sense because this is an event that followed immediately after the other one. So no, we actually have not gotten to the other mermaid corpse. Or maybe this is that? And then it gets dropped off over there? I think it might be different though, because they said that this one looked like somebody else, right? Not Somakawa. So it is kind of, it's funny because I bet everybody who gets to that point in that part there where she says, oh, we found a mermaid corpse, right? Blah, blah, blah. Thinks, oh yeah, okay, this is obviously leading to the other event we were on. But yeah, no, there's actually another event in between that. So, all right, I'm keeping up here. Also, I'm just noticing, does Yumeko have like a scar or something on her neck there? Or is that just like the lighting or shading or something? I see on her neckline there. Right there. It's like something. I don't know.
Huh. No idea what you're on about.
Of course. You will get something in return. We have some information I'm sure you'll find quite profitable in exchange.
Like I said, no idea what you're on about. That's all you came here for, then scram!
Oh, pity. I really thought you'd be interested in what we had to share. Assuming you really are interested in immortality.
Huh?
Well, I suppose we barely know each other. So only naturally be wary of our intentions. What do you say to a little chat to get to know each other better, Mr. Unka Kudono? After looking into the corpse of the mermaid found earlier this morning, it seems highly likely that it was taken into custody by Mr. Yamashina here. He's quite the big shot around here, with plenty of weight to throw around both politically and financially. Of course, all the local police know of him and of his moniker, Unka Kudono. You had to get one of the higher-ups to act as an intermediary to even get a meeting with him. Personally, I'm happy as long as we can get the mermaid corpse back from him. Although I certainly won't complain if he can tell us anything about the curse as well. I hear he's quite the curmudgeon, so we'll have to watch our step when dealing with him. I hear you've been putting quite a bit of effort into training up the younger generation recently. What's your take on today's youth?
Useless, the lot of them. Bunch of pushers that let all this new generation tripe go to their heads. We're the ones who built this country back up after the war, but they're out there strutting around like they own the place. Far too big for their britches.
My, what a scathing review. Would our resident member of the new generation like to comment at all?
Please don't call me that.
I hear you've been searching for a successor, though. Given your strong opinions on the matter, I take it that you're struggling. Though I can see why that could lead to the desire for immortality. After all, there's no need to cede your legacy to someone else if you can remain at the reins yourself.
That might have been true when I started my research.
Oh? I take it that isn't the case now?
I'm no spring chicken. Thought of living for hundreds of years like this ain't exactly appealing anymore. Don't see much point in immortality if I'm already long past my prime.
Well, that certainly is different from the rumors. My apologies for jumping to conclusions. You have my wholehearted agreement that immortality doesn't necessarily bring happiness, though. Let me clear up one more thing while we're at it.
I've already decided on my successor.
Oh?
Turns out the perfect candidate was right under my nose the entire time. I haven't told them yet, but they're a sharp one. They'll do a fine job.
Is it Wakamura?
Is that so? I'm glad to hear it. I suppose that would mean that you no longer have any need for immortality, then.
Who said I wasn't still interested? It simply has nothing to do with my successor. I still intend on continuing my research for medical advancement, you understand. Think of it as doing my bit for society. You lot are always quick to assume the worst of whatever I do. How about you mind your own business for a change?
Well, there's not much we can say to that. We'll try to be more discerning from now on.
I've already chosen my successor. No need to harp on any more about it. Already written up my will and passed it off to my lawyer. You be sure to let your friends at the police know too. By the way, you're obviously not just some run-of-the-mill cop. Who are you?
Why, I believe I mentioned it when I introduced myself. I'm just a simple housewife.
A likely tale. Plus, that fellow next to you has also got a strange air about him. He's no ordinary person, is he?
My, how observant of you. I suppose you could say that, yes.
Doesn't take a genius to see it. One of them phony psychic types, are ya?
Phony?
Hit a nerve, did I? There are far too many of your kind around lately. Cozying up to those in power by feeding them a bunch of nonsense. Liars and cheaters, all of you.
You seem to have quite the chip on your shoulder about this, Mr. Yamashina.
Don't know if it's because of this occult craze going around, but I've seen far too many folks get taken in by that tripe.
The occult craze, spiritual phenomena, the supernatural, aliens, cryptids, lost civilizations, extrasensory perception. The list goes on. Such unexplainable phenomena are quick to take on the life of their own. A plesiosaur named Nessie living in Loch Ness, sightings of mythical creatures like the Tsuchinoko or Hibagon, the urban legends of the Kuchisake Ana and the Hanako-san, television reports of spoon-bending psychics, documentaries featuring spirit photography and UFOs that become the talk of the school the next day. These are only a few examples of stories that have captivated the public's interest. Magazines specializing in paranormal phenomena continue to thrive with no end to the craze in sight.
That Wakamura over on Kamishima is one of them. Talk about a waste of potential.
Wakamura.
Can't say I care much about who you are anymore. You going around with some phony psychic tells me all I need to know.
How dare you?
Sodo, calm down. You can think what he wants. There's one thing I should warn you about. Eating the flesh of that mermaid you found won't grant you immortality.
And what would you know about that?
Well, you know, one hears all sorts of things in this day and age. I don't know where it came from. There seems to be a legend that eating mermaid flesh will grant one immortality. All I wanted to say was that it's just that, a legend. It has no basis in reality at all.
How can you be so sure?
Just think about it. If that legend were true, wouldn't it be strange that no confirmed immortals have ever been found?
Yeah? Who's to say they aren't just living and hiding?
The legend of Yaobikuni is passed down in over 100 places across Japan, yet not a single verifiable immortal has even been found to show for it.
So you mean to say all those legends are fake? Please. If even just one of those tales is true, there's always the chance there's an immortal hiding away somewhere.
I see. You really are quite the dreamer, aren't you?
I figure you were trying to bluff me out of that mermaid course for some reason or another. But now I'm sure of it. That thing's hiding some sort of secret, isn't it? Something you don't want me to find out.
Cheeky bitch.
So you admit you have the mermaid corpse then? Oh, don't worry. We assumed as much from the start. If I'm not mistaken, that mermaid was in a sort of mummified state, no? I doubt you'll be eating it as it is. Surely there's no harm in handing it over.
So you can hog it all for yourself. You won't fool me that easily.
You don't think that a rare specimen like that ought to be placed in the care of a proper research institute?
I'm saying I'll get a specialist research institute to study it. Problem solved.
I suppose so.
I'll make sure the mermaid gets studied properly. Don't you worry about that.
So problem worry. Oh, we must come back to it after a bit. Portrait sketch.
By the way, you're quite well connected around these parts, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh?
This doesn't have anything to do with what we came here to talk about. But I was wondering if you happen to recognize the person in this sketch. Seems like he lived in the Ise-shima area around 6 years ago.
Nope, never seen him.
I assume you've heard the news about the old human bones found on the seabed. This is a sketch of one of the victims from that case. You sure you have no idea who it could be?
First I've heard of it, actually. Got no interest in things that have nothing to do with me.
Who might this Wakamura be?
Wakamura is one of my proteges. He's the one currently in charge over in Kamishima.
Oh, okay, if he thinks so poorly of him, then he probably is not the one he's living his, in his will.
Used to have high hopes for that one, but that changed when he came under the thrall of some phony sorcerer in Tokyo.
A phony sorcerer in Tokyo.
You heard right. Since then, there's been no end to his nonsense. Buying properties out in the mountains, changing his company names, all because of something this sorcerer whispered in his ear. He even told me the layout of my house was unlucky and tried to get me to renovate the place. Just recently, he was going on about some curse causing a big storm. That sort of rubbish.
A storm caused by a curse, you say?
He even said the storm 5 years ago was the cause by the same curse. He's been trying to wheedle me into helping him find some way to stop it. But I'm done with him and his ramblings. Man's clearly a lost cause. He'll be coming over here tomorrow morning, but I'm thinking it's time to have someone else take the reins over on Kamishima.
I see. So even though you believe in immortality, you refuse to associate with anything to do with the occult.
Yeah, really.
And you do? I figured someone claiming to be a cop would have more sense than that. How are you meant to solve crimes if criminals can just pull out curses left and right?
You won't find me disagreeing there. So, what exactly has this Wakamura been saying about this curse?
Hell if I remember. Why don't you go to Kamishima and ask the man yourself?
Maybe we will. Thank you for the information. Is there anything you can tell us about the phony sorcerer this Wakamura is so devoted to?
Wakamura went on about how there's some big shot who appeared on television. I never heard of him. As I said, just ask him yourself.
Of course, we'll be sure to do so. How about this then? If you agree to give up the mermaid, we'll tell you what we know in return. For someone who doesn't seem to believe in the occult, you seem awfully fixated on this mermaid and immortality. Which suggests to me you found something you consider quite conclusive.
Pah! What are you on about now?
Well, I happen to know a bit more about mermaids than most people.
Ma'am, are you sure?
It's fine. I had the opportunity to do some research into them a while back, you see.
You don't say. And?
Well, mermaids do indeed have the ability to grant a human immortality.
Ha! I knew it!
More precisely, individuals granted immortality in this way are known as 800-year immortals.
So they have a lifespan of 800 years.
That's right. As the name suggests, they gain 800 years of remaining life. During this time, they won't age a day. Even if they die, they'll resurrect immediately.
Sounds like a real blessing.
No, I'm afraid it's anything but. One who defies the very laws of nature like that is no longer human. They're an anomalous being that should not be allowed to exist. As such, our position requires that any such individuals we find are dealt with as swiftly as possible. Indeed, this immortality was originally a curse mermaids placed upon humans.
Curse?
Immortality is neither a blessing nor salvation for the living. It's a curse that robs them of the ability to die. None of those who have become 800-year immortals have found happiness. Not one. It renders living among other humans impossible and makes them an outcast from society. Of course, there are a few years at first when life will be tolerable. But after that, every meeting ends in parting. You outlive whomever you love or are loved by, Even if you find acceptance, it will only be for a time. You will always be shunned, eventually. You'll experience this over and over for 800 years. 800 years unable to die, with loneliness as your constant companion. This is why many see no other recourse than a life of monastic seclusion, just as Yao Bikuni did.
Ah, yeah, because I mean, like, you're gonna be sitting there looking the same, right? Never aging. And people are gonna be like, what the fuck? What's going on, right? Eventually, you're just gonna be outliving everybody.
Suppose that makes sense? Still, there'll always be those who seek immortality. Always have, always will be.
You think so? I, for one, struggle to see the appeal. In any case, there are also certain conditions that must be met for this curse of immortality to be effective. Eating mermaid's flesh alone isn't enough to make you an 800-year immortal.
Oh? What exactly are these conditions?
Sorry to disappoint, but I'm not aware of the specifics there myself.
800-year immortal. Person who has gained an 800-year lifespan after being cursed by a mermaid. Do they also turn to like a weird thing or something? Do they look weird and nasty? Someone who ingests parts of the body of a mermaid that meets certain conditions will be cursed and become a being known as an 800-year mortal. Once cursed, the individual's own body is lost. And a provisional body is reconstructed using the parts of the mermaid ingested as a medium. There you go. Their soul is then transferred to this provisional body, which they are able to control as if it were their own, with their consciousness presiding over both their soul and body from the head. As such, they could already be considered to be more spirit in nature than human. If the individual is fatally wounded or contracts an illness that results in their death, their body will instantly be restored to its default state, allowing them to revive. In the event that they lose any body parts, their heart will treat the largest remaining part of them as their main body and regenerate any lost parts from there, with the removed parts subsequently vanishing. This even occurs in the event that the lost body part is the head. However, these individuals heal from non-fatal wounds at only a slightly faster rate than their bodies would be capable of naturally.
Oh, ow!
As these people feel physical sensations and pain to the same extent as they would have in their original body, it is extremely difficult to tell whether an individual is an 800-year immortal or not unless they die, even for the individual themselves. Oh, wow. The lifespan of this provisional body is 800 years from the time of its creation. Due to the individual's original body already being lost, not even the mermaid responsible for the original curse is able to dispel it. The individual will only see the end of their long life once 800 years have passed. Wow. Interesting. Body will instantly be restored, so they get a provisional body, using the parts of the mermaid just as a medium. I guess it kind of depends. Do you look human or not? That definitely means that somebody in this game is already this, right? More than likely. That'll be probably one of the twists of the game, is that a character in this game is an 800-year immortal.
But I can say this much at least: the mummy you have in your possession is no mermaid.
Huh? Bullshit! Ain't no way that's anything other than a mermaid.
What I mean to say is that the mummy is a different being from the mermaids who wield this curse. Not all half fish, half human beings are mermaids, you see. In fact, calling them all by the same name is what leads to mishaps like this one.
Say what? You mean to tell me that that's not a mermaid? That real mermaids are a completely separate thing?
That's right, which is why I can say with confidence that eating its flesh won't make you immortal.
Seems like you weren't bluffing after all. So what is that thing then? There's gotta be some reason you're after it.
I imagine that even if you had dissected it and examined it, all results would point to it being just a mass of fibers. In other words, nothing more than a man-made fake. There's a very good reason for that. You see, that mummy is merely the corpse of an average human, twisted beyond recognition by the curse of the forsaken fish.
What? Another curse?
Another curse wielded by mermaids, as it happens. That would be the remains of someone who died under it. It also happens to be the same curse responsible for the mermaids, found every few hundred years or so across the country. You see now why we'd rather you handed the mermaid over to us. The poor soul deserves a proper burial, same as anyone else. Surely even you're not so hard-hearted as to deny them that.
Curse is this, curse is that. It's all a bunch of hokum if you ask me. That said, a report I got from the Research Institute earlier said exactly the same thing.
Oh my. I think you already had the mermaid dissected then.
They said it was likely a fake, but I asked if I wanted them to keep going anyway. I told them to keep at it, but...
Should be clear now that you have nothing to gain from researching that corpse, least of all information on immortality. Won't you consider handing it over? Of course, we could always take you in on charges of abandonment and desiccation of a corpse.
Right, all right. Have it your way.
I'm so glad you've come around. Thank you for your cooperation.
I'm amazed we were able to get an appointment with him this quickly.
Yes, and all thanks to Detective Ide. It would seem he's quite the capable fellow.
I'll give you the damn mermaid, but in exchange, I want you to tell me one thing.
What is it?
You say there are real mermaids out there. Where are these real mermaids hiding then?
I suppose you could call it the eternal world.
The eternal world?
Yes, mermaids are not creatures of this world, you see. Their original home is Ryugu, the domain of the sea god.
Ryugu? And how do you get there?
I'm sorry to say that Ryugu's doors are only open to the dead. Going there is impossible for a living human.
You could claim anything with a fairy tale like that. It all sounds like hook'em.
That said, the entrance to Ryugu is said to lie somewhere in the Issei Sea. There have been numerous sightings of mermaids crossing over to this world in the area's long history. Which is why Issei Bay has its share of mermaid legends, too.
Huh. Now you mention it, I've heard one of those stories too. Some old tale about mermaids being found on some long-lost island called Taishima or the like.
What? Wait a moment. Where did you hear that story?
Got your interest, have I? Looks like this story has some merit to it after all.
I was simply surprised, that's all. It's not a name I've come across in any historical records.
So she might have a personal investment in that, maybe? Taishima, an island said to have previously been located to the south of Kamishima. As it has long since vanished, it is sometimes referred to as Taishima, or Lost Island. No official records remain, and it remains shrouded in mystery, with knowledge of it preserved only in tales passed down between residents of the Issei Shima area. Legends say the island was besieged by someone 400 years prior, and the curse of the murdered islanders caused the island to sink.
Just something I heard from one of the youngins I have out there looking for mermaids.
I see. Sounds like you've got a capable young hand. I don't suppose it would be possible to meet with this individual.
Nope, not happening. Unless you're willing to spill the beans on everything you know about mermaids. Every last bit of info. Maybe, just maybe, I'd consider it then. It's clear you're no ordinary housewife after all. Not interested? This meeting is over. I'll hand the corpse over to the police as promised. But don't think I've given up on mermaids or mortality. If they really exist, I'll find them and make them mine.
Jeez, what a douche. Ooh, back to the world map again. Okay. Back to Issei City.
Hey there, you two. Sorry for calling you out when you're so busy. I figured it'd be best to give you the rundown of our findings as soon as possible.
It's no problem. Go ahead.
Bird? That's not a bird.
And what have we here?
Oh, it's a poster advertising Kamishima. Something that better catch your eye?
No, I was just thinking, surely it would be better to put it somewhere tourists will actually see it.
Good point. Maybe they have some posters left over.
Interested in Kamishima, are you? It's a nice place. Great tourist spot, too. I recommend it.
This is one of the Issei City's residential districts. Right now the ground is so hot the air around it seems to be shimmering.
Any birds anywhere? Not seen anything. Just ghosts.
Despite the heat, Sodo looks as unruffled as ever. I do hope he isn't just pretending to be alright.
Let's hear what Detective Ide has to say. Wondering about my suit, are you? It's just a cheap old thing. So I want everything more presentable. So, did you manage to meet up with Mr. Yamashina?
Yes, thank you again for your help there. Seems he's willing to hand the body over without any fuss.
Really? That's great. Still, why would some big shot tycoon go to all that trouble to withhold a body? If everything I've heard is true, you could probably take him in on charges of desecrating a corpse, you know? Or was there something special about that corpse?
How observant of you, Detective. I can, of course, explain if you'd like to know more.
Oh, wait a second. Is it related to that secret department of yours? I think I'm better off not knowing if so.
Oh, really? I don't mind bringing you into the fold.
Ma'am, please, stop trying to rope him into helping us. I've never met the guy, but I hear he's quite the cranky old geezer. How'd your meeting go? I'll bet he was pretty wary of you being with the police, but he didn't try to pick a fight or anything, did he?
Ah, well, I'm not sure you could say it went smoothly, but I don't think we upset him, at least. Probably.
You, don't sound very sure about that. Oh, right. That's exactly what I wanted to talk to you about. So I got all hands on deck to go around asking about that sketch you gave me. And we finally found someone who recognized the victim.
Oh, that's great news.
The person who recognized him was a housewife in her 20s who lived in Kumano 7 years ago. Apparently the sketch looks like a 19-year-old she knew who left the village to go to the city.
So 7 years ago he was 19, no?
From the sounds of it, the guy had no relatives to speak of. Left the village with nothing but the clothes on his back. She doesn't know what happened to him after that.
I see. That would make him a young man with no relatives who left his hometown behind 7 years ago. Do we get a name for our mystery man?
Sure did. His name was Kipe Ikoma.
Kipe Akoma.
I looked him up in the residence registry, and it does look like he moved from Kumano to Issei City 7 years ago. But it seems he doesn't live at the place he put as his address anymore.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I checked in with the apartment's landlord, and it would seem that about 6 years ago, the landlord had his contract terminated after he failed to both pay his rent and return to his apartment for several months straight. The landlord didn't put out a search request or anything, so that's where the trail ends, I'm afraid.
If he went missing 6 years ago, I suppose it wouldn't surprise me if those were his remains.
We'll keep looking into Akoma to see if he was involved in anything that might have led to his murder. Of course, there's always the possibility we've got the wrong guy, so we'll keep asking around just in case.
Please do.
Okay. Testimonies indicate the individual in this sketch resembles a youth by the name of Kipe Akoma who went missing 6 years ago. He has no known relatives. The woman we spoke to said the sketch was really accurate. No doubt in my mind it was Akiyama.
Well, that accurate?
Then I'm sure we've got the right person. Still, how did you even make that sketch? There was nothing left of the victim but bones.
Oh, well, let's just say it's classified for now.
Yeah, we tell him about it later. Alright, guess that means I shouldn't pry any further. Oh yeah, I also looked into that lady you're asking about, Samakawa.
Oh, yes. Did you find anything?
Well, it seems she hasn't registered as a resident, even though she moved here 5 years ago. And nothing came up for Samakawa in the civil registry either. So, I'm afraid I don't have anything on who she is or where she came from. Sorry to disappoint.
I see. Is that quite common?
It happens. It's not unheard of for folks from the countryside to come here for work and just drift on, with no one really knowing who they are. Apparently, it was really common during the post-war growth period.
Seems we have quite the mystery woman on our hands.
Yep. Though there's something I've been wondering about.
Oh, let's hear it. Do you have some idea who she might be?
Well, have you heard of the Kamishima Southern Sea disaster? It was a big maritime disaster that struck 5 years back.
I have, yes.
One of the victims of that disaster was an ama diver and housewife from Kamishima by the name of Mare Minakuchi. But it seems her maiden name was Samakawa. What the fuck?
So the mystery woman shares a surname with a maritime disaster victim. I'm impressed you managed to dig that up.
What? And that's Kuze's or Yuza's mom, right? Yeah. Oh fuck, she does look like her, doesn't she? She does look a bit like her. Much more haggard though. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I was already looking into the Kamishima disaster because of the skeletal remains, so it was a happy coincidence, if anything.
Oh, so you thought they might be related too? Glad it wasn't just me.
Anyway, it seems like the bodies of those disaster victims were never found in the end, which got me thinking.
Wait, are you saying?
Yep. I was thinking Mare Minakuchi could have survived the disaster 5 years ago.
And do you think she then moved to Jika and started going by her old name of Samakawa again?
That's right. What do you think?
Seems like a long shot, but maybe.
Wouldn't people recognize her though?
But if that's the case, why would she have stayed in Najika for 5 whole years without thinking to contact her family?
Well, it's not the same area. We're not in the same place as where Yuza is, right? It's technically not the same area. Maybe she lost her memories in the disaster?
Right. If she only had her old memories to rely on, it wouldn't be that odd if she went back to using her old name.
Surely her appearance would still be the same, though. It is difficult to imagine no one recognizing her for 5 whole years. No. Yeah, okay, no, he's still asking the same thing. Yeah, it's possible she just never ran into anyone else she knew. That kind of thing is more likely than you'd think. Oh, speaking of appearances, I found a picture of Mare Minakuchi from a report on the disaster. I haven't met this Samakawa myself, so could you take a look for me and let me know what you think?
Let's see. Oh, this is interesting. What do you think, Sodo?
If she'd aged 5 years and grown badly gaunt, I could certainly see how this woman might come to resemble Miss Samakawa.
My thoughts exactly.
So you agree it's a pretty solid theory?
It's certainly worth looking into, yes.
But if she really is Mare Minakuchi, there's something else that concerns me.
Something else?
This is just what I've heard. But it seemed like the islanders over on Kamishima think this Mare Minakuchi was the cause of the disaster 5 years ago.
What? Why would they think that?
No idea. It seems like it's pretty much taken for granted by most of the folks over there. Even just mentioning her name is a sort of taboo. So I was thinking it wouldn't be that odd if she felt she couldn't go back home because of that.
Surely not.
Seems as good a reason as any why she wouldn't want to come forward anyway.
If she really is related to the storm 5 years ago, she's a point of interest regardless of her connection to the skeletal remains. Perhaps it's worth looking into that first.
Can I leave talking to Miss Samakawa to you two then?
We'll handle that, yes. So people believe this Mare Minakuchi called forth the Curse of the Raging Waves 5 years ago, do they? I didn't expect the Curse of the Raging Waves to come up here, of all places. Wait. That's it. I remember now. The sole survivor of Taishima. His surname was Somakawa. There was something else about Somakawa. A wooden box. Sure, that'd be too much of a coincidence.
Well, that's about all I had to report.
Thank you, Detective. That was very informative. As for our next move, can we ask you to keep looking to keep a Gikoma for us?
Roger that.
We'll see if we can find Somakawa again and hear what she has to say. Unfortunately, it looks like our trip to Kamishima will have to wait until tomorrow.
So it seems. Oh? You have business on Kamishima too?
That was actually our original reason for coming here, yes. But now we've gotten caught up in all this other troublesome business. So it looks like dealing with that will have to come first. And here I was hoping to get this over with as soon as possible so I could get back home to my husband.
I see. You sure are devoted to your husband.
Oh, very much. Though I do worry as he never eats properly when I'm not around. In any case, please do get in touch if you find anything else of note. Even if it's just something out of the ordinary happening, anything could be of help.
Sure, will do. You're kind of making me worried about something might actually happen now.
I'd certainly prefer it if it didn't. Anyway, we're counting on you, Detective.
Yeah, I think it's like some kind of scar or mark on her neck. But you can only see you see it on her left side, but not the other side. Yeah. Back to the coast. Uh-oh. Bad news, ma'am. Seems we were a step too late.
What do you mean?
It seems someone came and took the Somakawa woman out to sea just a few moments ago.
What?
According to the witness, a foreign man came to the port with Miss Somakawa in tow. They then boarded a motorboat that was moored there and headed out into the bay. It didn't appear to be by force, so we can probably assume they knew each other.
A foreign man? Not sure what's going on, but we should probably get a boat and follow just in case.
Yes, let's see if...
Sodo, what's wrong?
This spiritual force is overwhelming.
My body won't move. What's going on?
What the fuck?
The girl over there. Is she doing this?
What the demon lord is that?
You can withstand this curse? You really are quite strong, mister. Sorry, but I can't let you go any further. I'll have to ask you to leave. Vothitos Pneuma, guardian spirit, grant me the wisdom of the Numinous. Oh, high guardian spirit, light my path ahead.
It seems like they have saved us the effort of searching for them.
So it seems. Let's see if this girl can tell us what we want to know.
Time to duel!
Who are you?
I could ask the same of you. What do you want with Miss Somakawa?
So you know who Miss Somakawa is, do you?
Maybe. What's it to you?
Ma'am, this girl's spirit sense is extremely potent, but she lacks experience. She seems hesitant to employ curses against people. If I have an opening, I can use my curse of binding to restrain her. Usually it's too risky to use on ordinary people, but that shouldn't apply here.
All right. I certainly wouldn't mind getting some information out of her, so this is as good an opportunity as any. I'll see if I can get her to lower her guard. When she wavers, I'll signal for you to use the curse of binding. Is it like a plan?
Sounds like a plan. On your signal.
Use Sodo's Curious Curse of Bind to restrain your opponent when they let their guard down. Press the Use Curse button to signal to him to use the curse. You only have 3 chances to use the curse. Oh, shit. Question, appease, threaten, compliment.
Give up! Die! It's a battle of wits!
Appease.
Now, there's no need to be so uptight. How about we all stop all this and just talk a little bit? Not happening. You're just going to use a curse the moment I drop my focus. We'd rather not be heavy-handed about this either. Let's calm down and find some way to resolve this, Sorry, but that won't work on me. I'm at a rebellious age, you see.
It's funny how there's like, yeah, the used curse is back again, but not to murder.
Question.
Can we assume the foreign man who took Miss Somakawa is a friend of yours, then? So what if he is? Why are you trying to follow him? What do you want with Smith Somakawa? I could say the same to you. You just want the relic for yourselves, don't you? What? You know about the relic? If you know about the relic, I'm afraid we can't let you get away. Get away? I'm the one holding you here. You certainly have remarkable strength for your age. Why, it might be even too much for us. What's with the sudden praise? You're creeping me out. You certainly have remarkable strength for your age. Why, it might be too much for us.
Is that enough, I wonder? I don't know.
If you resist anymore, we'll have to take you in for obstruction of public duties. Oh, wait, you're with the police. Despite appearances, yes. Defying us could net you quite the heavy punishment. I see. You must be from Paranormal Affairs. Then I definitely can't do what you say. What? You have quite some nerve standing up to us despite knowing where we're from. Don't think you'll get off lightly for this. Threatening me won't get you anywhere. Can't arrest me unless it's an emergency, right? You're also with Paranormal Affairs, then? Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. Suppose this is the trouble with secret departments. Not even their own members recognize each other. What a bother.
We're not done though, so we have to keep sort of hopping around here.
Even knowing we're from Paranormal Affairs, you kept a straight face and hid your ties. I can tell you're both bold and smart. Thanks, I guess? Will you give up now? So we're both from Paranormal Affairs, are we? Let's talk. Perhaps there's some way we can help. I told you, I don't know what you're talking about. It's none of your business anyway.
Okay.
Alright, I understand where you're coming from. We won't interfere anymore. Sodo, you can stop now.
Ma'am?
Really? Thanks.
Oh, that was it right there.
Interfere anymore. Sodo, you can stop now.
Ma'am?
Really?
Right now.
Grubs, your dirty tricks! You did well to be cautious of us, but I'm afraid this is how grown-ups get things done. Now, will you tell us what you're up to here? Well, suppose I slowed you down enough. You'll never catch up to the bone now. Placas astere, guide my path, and with thy merciful hand uphold me.
What? She broke the binding.
Bye-bye!
Confound it. Stop right there.
Looks like she's giving us the slip. I doubt we'll be able to catch her now. Still, I'm going to have a word with Paranormal Affairs about the girl.
Cool. That was pretty neat.
I put in a call on Paranormal Affairs about her errant young lady just now.
I see. I assume she's indeed affiliated with them.
Yes, it seems her name is Circe Lunarlight. She's an exorcist from England who's come here on exchange.
Ah, England, huh? So I'll give her an English accent.
Part of her spiritual training, as I understand.
The Lunar Life family. I see.
Oh, are they well known?
I've heard of them, yes. They're a distinguished family of exorcists. Quite an old one, too. It would certainly explain the strength of her spirit sense.
Right. In any case, it seems she's in the care of Paranormal Affairs while she's in Japan. Honestly, I do wish they'd tell us these things in advance.
What is she doing here in Mie Prefecture?
Well, it seems even Paranormal Affairs isn't sure what she's up to. They've been looking for her. From the sounds of things, she's been skipping her training assignments to travel around Japan, visiting all sorts of spiritual spots instead.
It doesn't seem like they're keeping an eye on her at all.
Unfortunately not. They asked me to tell her to return to Tokyo at once when we next see her.
I see. More work for us, then.
Yes, the things we found ourselves caught up in. She seemed to know about Somakawa, too. got a bad feeling about all this.
Shall we try looking for her? I imagine she's still in the area.
No, not now. If all that is true, I doubt she'll be looking to cause too much trouble. Besides, I'm sure we'll run into each other again, eventually. Well, I think that's enough trouble for one day. Let's call it a day. We'll head to Kamishima first thing tomorrow.
Understood. Interesting, okay. So when they come to, and then when they go to Kamishima tomorrow is when they find the body, and that is Sumikawa. So yeah, it is not the mermaid that they thought. Let me check my birds though. How my birds doing? Oh shit, these guys are best buds. Hell yeah, brother. But who are all these guys connected? Who's the one at the center of this like love and hate triangle here? I gotta know. All right, guys. Ooh, it's getting good, man. It's getting good. We're definitely getting a lot of information here. Old man looking for immortality. Weird, cracked out looking lady was potentially Yuza's mom, who's now super dead again. Maybe she was a mermaid, right? Who knows, right? You didn't think she could have been a mermaid. Now her fucking dead, lifeless body's out here. So what, she got taken out there by a foreign friend who then killed her? Maybe? Or something happened to them? I don't know. A lot of weird shit happening in this goddamn town. This is cool. I like these two already. I like their dynamic. Yumeko and Sodo. They're pretty cool. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoy this episode. If you did, please you like and a favorite and subscribe and already become a picky penguin aboard the SLP, where the days are always sunny and the vids are always funny. And as always, guys, till next time, stay classy.